The NBA has just announced that the New York Knicks protest to their loss against the Houston Rockets has been denied, and we have to talk about this. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because the NBA just announced minutes ago that they have denied the Knicks' request for redoing, or, well, having an overtime period when the Knicks protested the loss against the Houston Rockets. Now, this is the statement the NBA came out with. If I'm being honest, I haven't even read it yet because I wanted to get this video out as soon as humanly possible. So, what NBA Communications on Fifth Avenue said is that New York Knicks game protest has been denied. And then, opening stuff. The Knicks protested the result of the game on the ground that the shooting foul was called incorrectly on the Knicks' Jalen Brunson for making contact with the Rockets' Aaron Holiday during the last-second shot attempt. Under the standard for NBA game protests, New York was required to demonstrate that there was a misapplication of the official playing rules as opposed to an error of judgment by game officials. Because the foul call at issue reflected an error in judgment, New York did not demonstrate a misapplication of the playing rules, and the extraordinary remedy of upholding the game protest was not warranted. Now, obviously, that's a huge bummer because the NBA standings in the Eastern Conference are very close outside of the Boston Celtics, and there was a time where it felt like the Knicks very likely could be the 2 seed, and though that's still possible with the mix of the injuries and not getting this loss because the Knicks were cheated out of the game, it's not the best look. And look, I'll be honest, I'm going to go into a lot of reasons why I'm not surprised that this happened, but we're just going to keep going through this right now. As Woj mentioned a while back, in case you didn't know somehow, if you've been living under a New York Knicks rock, the Knicks filed a protest with the NBA to dispute the 105-103 loss to the Rockets. Both the NBA's last 2 minutes report and crew chief Ed Malloy acknowledged that the foul called on Jalen Brunson leading to Aaron Holiday's 2 winning free throws was incorrectly called. Now, essentially, again, if you didn't see the game, what happened is there was a wild play at the end, not unsimilar to what happened with the Knicks and the Detroit Pistons, so maybe, karma. But, so essentially, Precious Achiuwa blocks a shot on a play from the Rockets that was kind of just a broken play. Achiuwa blocks a shot. It goes way, way, way deep out, but somewhere in the middle between the half-court line and the three-point line for the Houston Rockets. Aaron Holiday hoists up a prayer. Jalen Brunson jumps at him, puts his arms fully up, jumps towards him. Not a foul because there was not enough contact. It was just incidental contact that did not lead to what should have been a foul call. But NBA referee Jason Goebel, a former Miami Police Department member, or a former Miami cop, who also has not reffed a Miami Heat loss this year, suspicious, calls the foul on Jalen Brunson, the man who averaged 30 points per game on the Miami Heat, maybe suspicious. And then Aaron Holiday hits 2 free throws. There's 0.3 seconds left on the clock. So what he does is he absolutely makes the right move and throws the ball off the rim as hard as he can. Clock runs out. Knicks lose in an absolutely atrociously called game. The entire game, the calls were terrible for the Knicks. Got capped off by that. It was unbelievable to watch. So stupid. And at this point, all we could say is it is what it is. I mean, it sucks that this loss happened. I don't think any of us should be surprised. Because initially, if I'm being honest, I thought the Knicks were going to get this protest. I thought the NBA would be able to make a good amount of money by holding some event like this. Just absolutely market the hell out of it. Put it all over social media. A 5-minute overtime. Just hype it up a ton. Nationally televise it. That'd be exciting. But no, because the NBA gets a free chance to make more money. Because in case you guys didn't know, the last time I made a video on this, I highlighted something. And that is that if you are an NBA team and you're filing a protest, you have to give the NBA $25,000 in the protest filing. Now, if the league upholds the protest, if the league decides, you know what, yes, you're correct, we need to redo that, your 25 grand goes back to the team. However, if the protest gets denied, the NBA Treasury Department keeps the $25,000. Now, $25,000 to James Dolan is probably around the same thing as like $100 to me. It's like, damn, I don't want to lose that, but, doesn't affect me that much. So, that's essentially what it is. It's more of an annoying loss for James Dolan. It's really upsetting for me and other Knicks fans, though, and people on the Knicks, because you know the NBA is just so incentivized to, even if the protest should have been upheld, like the Knicks one really should have been, it's so easy just to say no and keep $25,000. The NBA is a for-profit business. Because of that, if they have a chance to get 25 grand and do basically nothing except just take the money and put it in treasury, guess what they're going to do? They're going to take the money and run. And that's exactly what the NBA did today. Unsurprising for sure. It's hard to imagine you'd make over 25 grand on a game between the Knicks and the Houston Rockets, or really an overtime period between the Knicks and the Rockets for 5 minutes where there's no fans. I don't see how you're making 25 grand off of that. So the NBA said, screw it. Our best way to make money is to not let this happen and take 25 grand from Jim Dolan. And that's exactly what the NBA did. Now, if you look here, what Brunson had to say on this on the Roommates podcast was everyone saying like, oh, why'd you jump? Why'd you foul? Why'd you even contest him? If I don't contest and he makes it, everyone's looking at me like, what are you doing? Brunson was absolutely right. At the time of the game when he was asked about this during the press conference, he just said no comment, and that was it. We know Brunson was pissed off, and rightfully so. Brunson didn't foul someone. He worked his ass off all game. He's worked his ass off all season. He's been a top 2 point guard in the Eastern Conference at the very least. The only person even contesting him is Tyrese Halliburton. Brunson's a top 5 point guard in the NBA. He's carried the New York Knicks since they've dealt with around 15,000 injuries. And then he gets the short end of the stick. Now, if you guys remember yesterday, Quentin Grimes said that if Jalen Brunson was on the Detroit Pistons, then they would have gotten the call and said the NBA was not going to make a call against Jalen Brunson. Well, Grimes, what the hell does this look like then, dude? We all know that Quentin Grimes was tripping. We're not really going to go that much more into that, but we know how annoying that is. Like, why is Grimes going to complain about this? I met a fan the other day walking down the street. It was the coolest thing in the world. Him and I chopped it about that same thing. Absolutely ridiculous by Grimes. What is also ridiculous is that the NBA is just going to overlook this because you just get 25 grand out of it if you overlook something, and it's about the easiest 25 grand the NBA could possibly make. There's been no protest that's been upheld since 2006 between the Miami Heat and, I should have looked this up again, the Atlanta Hawks. And basically the final 49 seconds of a game were played, or 47.9, so it doesn't matter. And no score was made because essentially what happened is Shaq was wrongly accused of having 6 fouls when he actually had 5. That is a misapplication of the rules. Apparently missing a foul call is not, or something. I just think Jason Goebel is a corrupt referee, but that is what you're going to get from me because I don't trust Miami police officers who are not letting Miami lose a game. Now, if you look at the NBA standings, the New York Knicks are now in 4th place. They have some room on each side with Jason Goebel's favorite team, the Miami Heat, right below them at basically 2 games back, game and a half. And then the Bucks now have a 3-game lead on the Knicks. The Cleveland Cavaliers are just going for it. They're playing a bunch of bad teams, and they just keep stacking up wins. Shout out to Max Strus for that wild 3-point barrage, finishing off with a half-court shot to win the game against the Orlando Magic last night. Got to admit it was cool. But look, the Knicks now probably are not going to get the 2 seed. Yeah, it's still possible. It's only a 4-game difference, but that 4-game difference isn't great if you're the Knicks. You want to be in that 2 seed. You want home court every time you can get. You're probably you're certainly one of the favorites to make the Eastern Conference Finals against the Boston Celtics. But if you're a 4 seed, you're going to have to play the Celtics in the first or in the second round. That's going to be really difficult because you're not giving the Celtics a chance to tire themselves out. Look, I'll be honest, I don't think the Celtics are going to win the finals this year. I think they're too breakable. I don't think Jason Tatum is as good as people believe he is because no superstar randomly scores 11 points on 3 for 14 shooting. I'm sorry, they don't do it as often as Jason Tatum does that. That is a fact. I don't think the Celtics are that good. I still don't want them playing the Knicks in the second round. Why? Because they're still the best team potentially in the NBA. I think they're just gonna fail in the playoffs. I don't know why. I just don't trust Porzingis to stay healthy. I don't trust Jason Tatum right now to be the best player on a championship team. I don't trust the Jays duo at all. I don't trust Drew Holiday in the playoffs. I don't think the Celtics are great. I really don't. I think I'm missing something here. But I do know that I don't want the Knicks going near them in the playoffs for as long as humanly possible because it's clear they are the best team in the Eastern Conference, maybe the best team in the NBA. They're the favorites to win the NBA Finals for a reason. So I don't want the Knicks to play them, and now it's looking like we're probably going to be a 4th seed. Hopefully Julius Randle can get back soon. We've gotten positive updates about both him, OG Anunoby, and then also Mitchell Robinson seems like he will be back for playoffs. Obviously, there'll be fatigue there. It's not like he's going to play 30 minutes a night or anything. He probably wouldn't anyway because of Hartenstein and how good he is. But we're definitely now praying that our injured players can get back, because if they don't, we're in some trouble. Obviously, this did not go the way we hoped. And if you look right here, in the NBA's official rulebook that I got from NBA.com, when talking about a protest, I'm not going to read this whole thing just because. Look at the highlight part as I read along. Look, upon receipt of a protest, the commissioner shall at once notify the member of the opposing team in the game protested and require both of said members within 5 days to file him with such evidence as he may desire bearing upon the issue. The commissioner shall decide the question raised within 5 days after receipt of such evidence. So clearly this lasted longer than it should have, which is already sus to begin with. This is a whole weird situation. And we've talked about that whole paragraph above, where essentially it's just talking about you have 48 hours to do it, yada, yada, yada. A game may be protested only by the governor, so James Dolan, or the head coach in Tom Thibodeau, or the alternate governor, but that doesn't matter for the Knicks. They don't have one. It's just James Dolan. Bummer for sure. Not surprising. NBA gets free money from the Knicks. The Knicks get to lose a game, and that's always profitable for social media because most people my age are used to the Knicks being terrible for their entire lives, myself included. It's whatever. We've been here before. We'll be here again. The Knicks get screwed over. We'll be fine. Can't wait till our players come back. Can't wait to see the Knicks-Warriors game tomorrow night. Get that win back against Steph Curry. Jalen Brunson's going to outplay him because he's been better this season. The Knicks will be fine. We can still make the Eastern Conference Finals. Just Julius Randle, please come back, man. We need you, OG and Mitch. We need our starting front court. But that's really it for this one, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. Like and subscribe. All that good stuff helps us out. Turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys. Go Knicks.